Hi, beloved hearts. I am so excited to be delving into this transmission with you today. I want to explore together 3 specific steps to really manifest absolutely anything that your heart desires. And, you know, there's many ways that we can play in this terrain because we are infinite source intelligence expressing in human form. So there literally are no rules to how our reality operates except for those of quantum physics and universal love. So universal love, let's delve into this first. So universal love is synchrony with the true self as all that is. So meaning we are so this is step 1. So this is to synchronize with genius intelligence. And so this is really about becoming fully illuminated and living in diamond alignment in our inner world, which then emanates and becomes the expression of our outer world with this intelligence. So what is our superconscious intelligence? Who are we at our core? So when we all connect in with the frequencies of love, we know what this feels like. We all have this cosmic order and blueprint literally coded in our DNA. So all of the information is accessible in our DNA blueprint, in our DNA or RNA codex, and also in every single cell of our body. So the way that we receive this information is that we quiet the mind and we attune to the felt sensations of our body. So whole body breathing, deep body listening. These are ways that we can, an opening into absolute trust. These are ways that we can allow for that intelligence to start emerging within us. And some of the science around that, and HeartMath has done this science for us, thank you HeartMath, is that when we are in a relaxed, open, expansive state, imagine that you're at a spa, right? You're having a massage and you have let go to that depth within your being. You have completely released into the field of unconditional divine love, knowing all is the self, knowing that everything in reality can only be an individuated expression of source intelligence, and that is the truth of what all of this is and who we are. And when we're in this relaxed state, all of that information can start to uncoil from the DNA codex. So when we're contracted and we're tight and we're holding ourselves in, we literally hold in the light information that is in our DNA, which keeps the super conscious awareness of all that we are from rising into the conscious mind. So when we allow ourselves to rest, relax, receive, open, bask, luxuriate in the magnificence of the gods, and we allow ourselves to drink from the wellspring of life and really receive that nectar, it starts to bloom and unfurl within us, and it releases this light information and this coding to our conscious mind, so we become self-aware of who we truly are. So some of the characteristics and qualities of this energy is it is unconditionally loving, benevolent, kind, super abundant, super prolific, meaning that it is infinite generative power. It is pure, positive, infinite generative power. So there is an infinite, and this is how infinite possibilities are possible, because the self is always expanding into more of itself. It's always self-generating more of itself to thrive into. So the purpose of life is to realize infinite potentials and possibilities and to actually simply live full out, to experience more life, to welcome more life in, and to share more life-giving intelligence with all parts of the self. So we synchronize with this field of super abundance. So I want you to feel into this with me for a moment. So I'm here and I am Solara Rose. That's who this being is. Now, when I look into my life and in my world and everything that surrounds me, this is my quantum body. This is my infinite expanded self. All the people and the beautiful friendships and relationships and community that I have in my life, all the beautiful physical belongings that I'm so blessed to be able to have and savor and enjoy. All of the prosperity, all of the beautiful nutrition and foods, Mother Earth, like these are all expressions of source intelligence. This is our expanded body. This is our expanded self. So when we are opening into this love and we're opening into union ultimately with the true self, we're harmonizing and synchronizing with the truth of who we are as a whole being. We start to inhabit the fullness of our I am presence. So when I move through my life, I am not associating with the personality constructs, the identifications of Solara Rose. That would be a very limited framework, and I would confine myself to who I think I am versus allowing myself to be all that I am. And so how that shows up, you guys get to experience it with me during all of these transmissions, because I really never know until we dive in together. And I love it that way. It's like, you know, as many times as I've tried to take notes and define things, it's just, this is flow, and this is how the flow moves me. I'm just supersonically connected to all that I am in truth, and so I communicate from that expansionary, vast vantage point of the true self. So we come into congruence, we open into the fullness of who we are as that presence, and we start to manifest from that space. Because when we know that we are the almighty, infinite, generative power of super abundant, prolific love, beauty, joy, harmony, success, fulfillment, all of the gorgeous, luxuriant novelties that we desire to create and experience in this physical human incarnation, all that we desire to live into, we're opening into our true power to create. So me just trying to operate from this, there's power there. There's power there, but there's infinite power here. There's infinite energy when I'm open into the fullness of all that I am, and I trust the fullness of all that I am, and I know that everything is me. When I know that everything is the true self actualized, so this is true self-actualization, we become self-actualized in a more expansive capacity. And so when we're operating from the I am presence, not only does all of this energy and power start to flow into us and rush into us, we're liberated, we're free, because there's nothing to fear. You see me, I'm here, and it's just like so utterly bare naked with you all right now. I've been laying in the sun between client calls and working out, and I'm just me in my full expression. We are family. It's a benevolent world, a benevolent universe. And so that is another beautiful frame to cultivate. Opening and being tender with yourself where it's vulnerable still, to open into that trust, and just being compassionate, being empathetic until you feel solid and integral in those new spaces of expansion. And so then you're open into the fullness of all that you are, and you're aligned to that intelligence. So what is that intelligence? We all know what it is. We know that it's unconditional love, it's glory, victory, triumph, success. It's all these things that I have named and spoken into so many times. So it's aligning our perceptual fields, our awareness, our mind, our thoughts, and our imagination to this super abundance field that we are saturated in. So this is the field, and I love how Richard Rudd expresses this, because this is what I express as the diamond octave. He expresses as superabundance, which I think is just magnificent, because that's what it is. It's the field beyond evolution, where there's no more work to do. We're not healing, fixing, saving, solving, all of that. The mind is unified. It's a non-dual consciousness. It is aware of itself as the true self, and it knows that all that exists is super abundance, expressing that everything that is unfolding in our lives and our reality is not only perfect, in perfect symmetry and geometrical mathematic order, in congruence with the cosmic design itself that expresses itself throughout all nature, including our DNA. We are in this space. Everything has a positive message and a meaning, because everything is benevolent. And so we start to shift our own frames of perception and awareness around what is possible and what things mean when they show up in our reality, right? So we can always choose to see the problem or the solution, the failure or the inevitable success and triumph, the loss or the gain, because all of the new spaciousness that is opening up. So it's inheriting our source I am perspective. So this is synchronizing with genius intelligence and becoming fully illuminated in our mind. And I have many, many beautiful access points to support people with this. Liquid Nirvana, that's exactly what we do. The 13 constellations of super abundant mastery, flow mastery and actually bringing all of our energetic systems online to embody this fully. So it's illumination, full illumination in every moment. And so this means, as we're moving through our days, the way that I practice this, so no matter what is unfolding in my life, I say thank you. That is I go to that immediately. I shower all that I am in infinite love, gratitude, and appreciation. Here in this moment of the eternal now, instantly and simultaneously everywhere in the infinite quantum holographic field of thy eternal immortal being, all facets of thyself are flourishing with love, beauty, appreciation, maximum quality of life, superabundance, radiant health and vitality. All parts of me flourish maximally, and I am so thankful. And bringing everything into that space and just continuously giving thanks, whatever is happening, that's the simple prayer. You can, or activation, or however you want to look at that or frame it. Because every word that we speak, literally, and this is, we're 90% water. Every word that we speak, our brain accepts is true. And it actually starts to, so it feeds that into our neurochemistry, and that becomes who we are. So when we're having an inner dialogue and we think it's about someone else or the world or an ideology or whatever it is, we're not coding them, we're coding ourselves with that information. So becoming super cognizant of our internal dialogue and starting to unfold the novel of your life that you desire to be thriving and living into in every moment. And this is where I speak into having a sacred romance with reality. So it's synchronizing with the symphony of genius. It's a song, it's melodic, it rhymes because it is harmony, it is synchrony, it is, and this is what creates synchronicity. So it's aligning with that intelligence, learning to hear the voice of our I am presence, learning to speak with the voice of our I am presence, because every word is coding our body with that information. It's coding the waters of our body, which is our emotional resonance and our emotional intelligence. And that's who we become. And that's what then our life becomes, because we are the only one here, and everything out here is, as Neville Goddard says, I love how he says it. He says, everyone is you pushed out. I say everyone is you fractalized out because I see the energy and it's a fractal pattern. It's the same exact concept. So whatever data and whatever information, thoughts, sounds, frequencies, vibrations we have going on in here. So however we are ingesting data, whether it is through something that we're reading, listening to, the friendships and relationships we choose to engage with, the foods that we are eating, our self-talk, our self-dialogue, we become that, and then that becomes the reflection that we experience in our reality. That's how we experience ourselves internally and, out there. Ultimately, it's some space in all of this. We become the bridge, and there is no inner outer. It's just one united field, and you're operating as the I am power and presence of your life. But in this, so everything is an extension moving out. But, when we're engaging with life and we're having this sacred relationship with life, we're always receiving the reflection of either our subconscious symbology. So we can become self-aware through the mirror. The mirror is a gorgeous tool for self-awareness, for we're willing to do honest, authentic self-inquiry with empathy and compassion, curiosity, and a sincere desire to learn from our creation. Okay, I am creating all of this. How have I created this? Loving it, embracing it, celebrating it for its wisdom, and then making those new choices as we move forward in our experience to create and author all that it is we truly desire to be living into. Or it's reflecting our superconscious symbology, which is the mind of source, the mind of paradise, the mind of God. And that is what we all desire to be living in. And then we're absolutely fully free. So this is becoming intimate with that intelligence, knowing who we are, becoming self-actualized. And then from that point of wholeness, knowing that you are the master attractor and creator of your entire world and life, and that it's all up to you saying yes to you. You're free, and then your energy comes online, the power, the joy, the excitement, because it's like, wow, I can create absolutely anything. There's infinite possibilities. If I can think it and dream it, it can be generated from the infinite generative power of all that I am. And so coming into alignment with this intelligence, and then starting to generate those prolific realities. So I want to tune into the power of magnetics. So this is actually So there's only magnetism. There's only magnetism. There's only fluorescence. There's only super attraction. There is no going out to get anything. When we try to do that, or we attempt to do that, we actually push away what we're desiring to receive in our reality. So how do the quantum magnetics of reality work? So the first one is coming into congruence and alignment with our I am present, source intelligence, genius intelligence, our super conscious awareness of self. Coming into that space so that we are operating from the I am presence. This is the most powerful space to manifest from. And actually, one of the primary reasons why many people aren't manifesting has nothing to do with technique or any of this. It's because of the space they're manifesting from, the small self or the oceanic boundless self. So manifesting from the oceanic boundless self, super powerful, because now you've got your whole self on board supporting your creation. That's much more support than just, what we have happening in our own periphery. And so there's that congruence. There's coming into that alignment, full illumination. And then the next kind of movement of the energy is ultramagnetic attraction. So we live in a universe that operates like a black hole. So what does that mean? Everything gets sucked into a black hole. Everything is powered by receiving quantas and plonks of energy from the quantum field that we are immersed in and surrounded by. And the only way that we can receive that light is, reverse to the beginning of step one, is to open, relax, receive, and invite it in. Start to invite it in. And this is how we can get into these supersonic activations that I love to facilitate. I walk through life in an activation, ultimately, like a beautiful song and dance with my reality. I have chosen to befriend my experience. And so we start to welcome this in. So what you can imagine is that from the farthest infinite grand reaches of your eternal immortal being, you see all of life, all of energy, all of consciousness, all of source energy, all of love, starting to move towards you. So you want to create momentum, energy, and power flow inwards. So the receiving is more of a still, quiet space, but this is where we generate momentum. As you start to see that energy rushing into you, gifting you your desires, aligning you with magnificent, loving, happy, joyous relationships, all the things that you're desiring to experience. And this is, when we're in our internal space and our awareness is being directed inwards, and we're starting to build the momentum of that energy towards us from the fullness of the self, we also start to imagine in that space. We start to see like, wow, my whole self is a yes to me, is in full support of me, loves me unconditionally, wants to pour all of my soul's desires into me. We start to dream from a much more heart-centric space, from a much more pure, innocent space of like, wow, I'm so whole and I'm so complete. And what do I actually just want to live into next? Because the evolutionary impulse of life is expansion. It is more life, to experience more life. And so that is natural. It is natural for us to always want to live into and thrive into greater experiences of what is possible. So in this this is a quantum vacuum state of beingness. So operating as a black hole, everything comes into the 0 point quantum vacuum state. So this means we take our focus off of the quote external world, which is just reflecting our inner world, and we start to build prolific, palpably powerful momentum into ourselves, seeing ourselves filled with light, filled with beauty, filled with vitality, filled with health, starting to have an extraordinary dialogue with ourselves that says what Source says about us. I love you. You're beautiful, powerful, amazing, exquisite, strong. You are intelligent. You are wise. And you start to communicate these beautiful, positive, affirmative, loving messages to you, which means that it will reflect everywhere out here, also from all facets of your reality. So you bring that focus back in, and that's entering into the 0 point field. And then you're really, when you're moving through life, you're just so present to what is happening within you and what is right in front of you. And so always bringing your attention to you. When you pay attention to you, when you start to give to you and share with you all the things that you want from life. So from the vantage point of your expanded self, giving to yourself, this is true self-reliance, is if you write a list of all the things that you want from life, from other people, from circumstances, all of this, because ultimately we've got to learn how to give this to ourselves. And you start to give those things to yourself. I welcome in love. I welcome in beauty. I welcome in affirmation. And then you actually start to give that to yourself also. You give yourself the affirmation. You immerse in experiences of beauty. You start to give that to you, and then reality starts to give that to you also. So it's coming into the 0-point quantum vacuum field, because everything in our universe, including us, operates as a black hole. It sucks everything in. So it's receiving the power, receiving the energy, receiving the joy, receiving the dreams, the desires, the visions, the creative flow, the new insights and ideas and revelations of self that you want to weave into form and share and gift unto others. We have the power to evoke and activate and welcome and invite all of this. And for me, that is a dance of enchantment, because it is so sensual. And I'm like, yes, 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 reality of my life, my eternal being, shower me with light, intelligence, and wisdom, and grace, and gold. And, and I go into all the beautiful, super abundant, vivid imaginings that I have uniquely. And I literally see myself being showered in the abundance of paradise itself. So I'm very connected to nature in that way. So I see like the most premium quality food and nutrients and landscapes and experiences and ways that I can adorn my body and care for my health, and of course the most inspiring, uplifting relationships, like sitting next to a campfire with your best friends, connecting heart to heart, soul to soul. All of that starts to come alive in my imagination, and I'm coding myself with that intelligence, meaning that it will crystallize out here. And I'm also open to receiving it. So another piece in being open to receiving is not closing ourselves off from what comes to us based on our own limiting belief patterns that we have about life, our fear constructs around, well, okay, I'll let this in, but I'm not going to let that in. Really being attuned to what your preferences are, of course. So staying attuned to what your preferences are and what you authentically desire, but recognizing that everything that is coming to you is a manifestation of you. And at the grand expanded level, it is a manifestation of the divine source presenting itself to you. So to not slip back into fear of, I need to put up a wall, a self-imposed limitation of a boundary, and push that thing away, when it really could be a profound gift and blessing and opportunity that is presenting itself to me. But I have these filters of perception from past experiences and things that have unfolded in my life that are, I'm still kind of in resistance to myself. So receiving the fullness of yourself as the divine and staying open to what presents. And then you can marinate on, okay, is this a reflection of my superconscious mind? Is this in the greatest alignment? Or do I still need to refine my awareness and my resonance around this a little bit? Is this a subconscious pattern that's reflecting? So then you get to tune in with yourself and really look at those dynamics in your own self and consciousness, but really staying open to that, knowing that on a wider level, it's you granting yourself your desire, so it's safe to let it in all the way. And then the next piece in all of this is getting laser clear on what your orgasmic, full-on heaven's yes life is. What are you a full-on yes to, with absolute certainty and clarity and devotion and joy and excitement? What are you a yes to experiencing in your life? Getting clear on what all of that is. And one of the things that I love to work with my clients on is just to picture, and this, living freely, living freely. If I had multiple millions of dollars in my bank account right now, what would I actually choose? What would I actually authentically choose? So we can see where we've been choosing out of congruence with our heart's true desire, pure desire, out of you know, we've shared about this before, many reasons why we choose from that space, but really choosing from the authenticity of our heart, getting clear on what you are an absolute heaven's yes to, what lights you up, what sparks the flames of your soul, what turns you on. Write a list of those things and then start to invite those things into your experience. I invite this and this and this, and remembering that you're the only one telling yourself yes or no. So it is always a guaranteed, inevitable, certain victory, a yes and a success. So as long as you stay solid and secure and certain in your knowingness that you're telling you yes, and that the wider you, so this is you telling yourself yes on a more expanded level. All of me is a yes to me. All of me loves me. All of me wants to support me. All of me is excited, because at that point you're choosing in congruence with what is in the grand flourishing of the whole self. So whatever experience unfolds from the manifestation is going to be a super abundant experience of love and beauty and all of this with whomever you're choosing to experience it with. It's always going to be in the greatest good of the whole self. So saying yes to yourself and having your whole self online and on board with you, all of myself is a yes to me, yes. And practicing anchoring into the solidity of that yes and telling yourself yes over and over. My desires are beautiful. They've landed in my heart, my mind, my soul, my imagination for a reason. They resonate with me. And so it's a yes, it's always a yes. So starting to tell yourself yes when you're clear on what those desires are, and practicing this daily so that you stay solid at the knowingness and that there is no waver, because reality is transient, meaning it moves with us in every single moment. It adapts to us. What we do, our reality does. That's how powerful this game is. And that's actually how powerful we are to create instant quantum shifts in our reality, is that when I choose appreciation and joy and love, and I'm solidly choosing that in this moment, my whole self chooses it with me. When I choose from a subconscious pattern, my whole self chooses that with me. And so we have this power to create these instant, profound changes and miracles in our lives. The key is to maintain it, which is where the embodiment, the actual embodiment of genius intelligence is so important in this step, so that we can live into a seamless expansion ongoing. So creating the list, telling yourself yes, creating the list of all the things, telling yourself yes, and then following through on your intuitive navigation. So this is a really fun and fascinating experience. What is intuition? So this is where we're going next. What is intuition actually? So, of course, because I am such a lover of words, and I had this insight come through one evening when I was exploring and researching myself and my consciousness, and I had the inquiry, well, where is this information coming from? What is this? Who and what is guiding me? If I'm the only one here and I'm source, then what's actually guiding me? There is no outside power. So how is my intuition, how are my psychic capacities operating? What is happening here? And so I looked at the etymology of the word intuition, and it was to look upon. This is profound, to look upon. So what this is saying at the core is whatever we place our spotlight of awareness and attention on, whatever we look upon. So this is where mastering our focus and our awareness and our consciousness by coming into congruence with genius intelligence is step one. We focus like our I am presence focuses. We pay attention to what our I am presence pays attention to. We invest our awareness and our energy in those places and spaces, because it is what is in the ultimate flourishing of our whole being, body, and world and self on a grand scale. And so it is what we look upon is what our intuition creates a trajectory, like an aim. So if I look upon, okay, this is in my imagination, I'm imagining a specific outcome, and I am desiring to have, let's say, the love of my life just show up in the most marvelous, miraculous way, surprise me, sweep me off my feet, and we share this beautiful, novel adventure of life together, and we have so much fun, and we play, and we share life. And so that is my desire. As I focus upon, as I look upon that, my intuition is going to lead me directly to the manifestation of that desire. So it is going to bring forth intuitive awarenesses that go, okay, take this step next, reach out to this person next, do this next. And it's going to guide me to that manifestation. If I'm operating, and people call this intuition too, if I'm operating out of a subconscious pattern that says life isn't safe and this person's not good for me, then what am I going to do? I'm going to lead myself away from that person. I'm going to affirm my own belief. I'm going to confirm my own belief in that. And then we're going to call that intuition. But the highest level of mastery of intuition and psychic ability is utilized in the directionality of truth and pure creation. And so then our intuition sets us on a trajectory. So learning how to listen to ourselves and trust ourselves and enact and engage our intuition without hesitation as it arises in the moment, because it is literally connecting the dots between constellations to create that perfect synchrony, the perfect synchronicities and alignments to bring forth the full fruition of our desires. And so then we just get to live, right? We embody the fullness of all that we are. We go into these gorgeous, sumptuous, imaginary realms of what is possible for us, which is just it's so pure and it's so innocent. It's where the heart of our child really comes to life. And then we live fully every single day as though we have everything that we desire, as though we have because we are infinitely resourced and supplied. And when we operate from that space, infinite resources and supplies start to flood into us. I promise you. And so starting to really operate from that space of, and trusting yourself to supply you, because that's what's happening. And we operate from that total freedom, and we're alive in the now, and we're engaged with life, and we're welcoming all of this into our experience. So we're moving through life connected to ourselves, connected to our present moment experience, operating out of attraction and not assertion. And then we're just living through our intuition. Okay, what is in the greatest alignment for me in this moment? Body temple, what would you desire in this moment? What would bring my heart the greatest joy in this moment? What have I devoted myself to because I know that it's in the greatest and best good of my long vision that I can melt into and enjoy and create today? So that shows up for me in legacy work. And there's things in this is like having children. So this is a really important component of this to attune to too. Becoming aware of what those devotional commitments that we have are in our life that are so important and are so valuable, and this is the value of alignment, so that you always feel like doing it, because so you always feel like doing it, so that you always love doing it, so that you're always excited and honored to be creating and immersing in the thing that you're creating. Because there's going to be moments when it's like, okay, well, I'm feeling a natural impulse to go this way, but I actually have devoted to this thing. Well, okay, because I'm going to go into the direction of what I've devoted to, because I know that it serves on a longer trajectory of my life and of my vision. So having that awareness and that balance and that equilibrium too, to have the structures in place in your life, and whatever that looks like for you, the structures for your health, for your legacy and your service in this world, your creativity, and how you choose to express and share your relationships, your well-being and your thrival, your finances, your prosperity, all these different areas, your spiritual connection, your energetics, all of these areas that we devote and commit to in our lives, structuring those things in a way that serves you optimally to stay connected to this flow, that which gives you ultimate peace of mind, that you're watering the garden of your life in the most valuable, important areas to you daily. And then moving into, so you have all this space for all of this extraordinary free flow. So that's a synergy of the masculine and the feminine principles also. So the receiving and the magnetism, but also the expression and the creation energy. And so those are some of the very important components. It was a lot, 3 steps. 3 steps to manifest anything you want. Become fully illuminated and operate from your I am presence. Operate from a point of attraction and magnetism, and allow things to come to you. Start welcoming things in. So the first primary piece with that is getting clear on what your heaven's yeses are and starting to invite them in. And the third step is just engage your intuition, follow through on your intuitive guidance and where your intuition is leading you uniquely. So there's a lot in that transmission. I love it. I really, I just love being open into this field, and it is an honor and a gift to be able to just share and transmit all of this with you. So I deeply hope that you receive the jewels and the gems of wisdom that most resonate with you on your path, and that they support these awarenesses of self to anchor in at deeper, richer levels for you, and that ultimately they liberate you into the fullness of who and what you are in truth, into full self-actualization on a grand scale, full freedom, and full power and autonomy and authority and certainty in the creation of your reality and that which you desire to flourish into in this life, in this carnation, in this experience. I love you so much, and just all of my most abundant love to you, seeing you all filled and surrounded with the most pristine golden white light, the symphony of source intelligence and beauty and brilliance and genius, and the richest, most sumptuous self-love that you have ever known. And may you gift that to yourself fully. That is the greatest gift that you can give to humanity, because synergy, true unity, sovereign synergy happens in this world when we are all sovereign, when we are all fully embodied in our I am presence. It creates a natural synergy in this world. There's no amount of going out here to try to fix, save, help, solve that can do that. That is not our power. Our power is being fully connected here, and everybody else's power is them being fully connected here too, because that is the ultimate wholeness, the ultimate fulfillment, the ultimate freedom. And we can only gift that to ourselves, and others can only gift that to themselves fully. And then we are sacred dancers with one another on this journey to share in this gorgeous, ever blooming, ever unfolding novel of life together in great joy, in great synergy, in harmony. Okay. I love you so much. I hope that you have an extraordinary rest of this week and a happy, majestic, magical, full strawberry moon this Friday. I am so excited. I'm already feeling her palpable frequencies coming in. I'm excited to dialogue with her and share her wisdom this Friday also. I'm loving you all immensely. Please be sure that you're subscribed to my channel and that you share my channel with your friends, your family, your loved ones who you feel will benefit and receive from these transmissions. And I also invite you to explore ways that we can connect and work intimately together below. And you can also just visit my website, www.solararose.com, or feel free always to reach out to me personally. I love you so much, and I am looking forward to connecting with you soon. Mwah.